Hi, and welcome back to
Inspired to Game. I'm Sean.
And I am Lola. Today, we are talking about Springsign. Now, this is a prototype of a game coming to Kickstarter soon by the End Games, who we want to thank for sending us this copy to review. Before we get to our review, we'll give you a very quick overview of how it plays.
Welcome to Springsign, a plucky little frontier town with all the usual frontier town problems. Harsh winters, a limited menu, and bandits. But it also holds the potential to be much more. In Springsign, players will compete to become mayor by gaining popularity as they improve the town. Springsign is played over an indeterminate number of rounds called seasons. Each season is divided into 3 phases. In the replenish phase, new settlers will arrive in town and all resources are replenished. During the action phase, players will spend their resources to take actions such as feed or hire settlers, study relics, fight bandits, or explore the world. Once a player has taken all the actions they want or can take in a round, they return home by taking a harvest token and can take no more actions in that season. And finally, in the cleanup phase, players will resolve their chosen harvest token, some settlers may leave, troublemakers will raise a ruckus, and the most popular players will gain a vote in the mayoral election. Now keep in mind, troublemakers cause anarchy, which can also gain in popularity and earn votes. Now if anarchy is the first to earn enough votes in the election, determined by player count, then all candidates are run out of town and nobody wins the game. Otherwise, the first player to earn enough votes in the election is declared mayor and the winner of Springsign.
So everything you see here, as I mentioned, is a prototype. So we can't really speak too much for the quality of the components, but I do want to say that I enjoy the art. I think it is vibrant and it is fun. And the theme here is fun as well. I love this concept of that we're building this village, and what's neat is we are working together on it. So there's kind of that little bit of a co-op vibe in that respect. But the point of the game is to become mayor. So it is competitive as we are vying for that popularity that's going to get us there.
Now it all ties together, the artwork, the aesthetic, the co-op nature that you're building this town together. It all kind of makes this seem like it's just a light strategy game, but there is a lot going on in here, a lot more than you would expect.
Yeah, it is. Now I would put this as maybe a light medium. So there is a really good amount of strategy here when you get your tokens and decide how you get to play with it. So that's one thing I really enjoy, is there's a ton of flexibility in your turns. So you begin with a certain amount of resources to work with, and you gain more and build an engine through the game as you hire villagers. As you hire villagers, every round their resources that they generate will go straight to you. So you get more to work with, all within the constraints of your inventory space. But there's a ton you can do because you can spend fish to feed villagers and take a token that's out under the main board. And you can also trade by doing the buy action. So you can customize your tokens to pull off what action you want to do. And there's a lot of actions to go with here. There are multiple strategies and ways to approach trying to get those popularity points you need to in order to pull off the votes you need to win.
And if you choose exploring, no matter what you pull off of the world deck, you're going to get something out of it. If it's a bandit, you're going to get a couple resources. But if it's a relic or a building, you can get everything that's in that pile and refill your entire inventory.
Yeah, and I really love the scoring mechanism here. So essentially, as you go, you're accruing those popularity points up to 6, and once you get to that top, you would earn a vote. Once you get the certain amount of votes, which for a 2-player game is only 4, you win the game. Now, at the end of each round, that is season, there is a vote that takes place, and whoever is highest on that popularity track gets a vote. Now, you could be at 1 and your opponent at 2, and they'll get a vote. So in that case, they don't have to go right to the top. And every time somebody gets a vote, they go back down to the start position. So it's a really interesting way to track points and progress in the game. So the whole game is about those popularity points. You want to get those. Now, what I find is truly unique about this game, which is a lot of fun, is the way you obtain popularity is constantly in flux. So you get popularity either from defeating a bandit if you happen to have one there, and you can gain it from buildings and sometimes relics as well. So, however, when you explore, if you get a new building, you place it on top of one of the current buildings. So that effectively changes how you're scoring points in the game based on what buildings are on the forefront. Now, certain things can happen that can move. You can have opportunities to remove one or then to add one. So it's constantly changing, both with the buildings as well as then whatever relics you may personally get. These are all providing you new opportunities and ways to get those popularity points.
And that's why, as with most games, you do want to plan ahead, but you don't want to get bogged down with that because, as Lola said, everything's in flux. You could plan your entire turn and then turn around and find out that, oh, the building you wanted to use is now covered, or a new building has been uncovered, or a new relic is there, or a relic is missing that you were expecting to use. So you have to have an agility of strategy to be able to take what comes when it finally becomes your turn.
Yeah, so it is always in flux, and that makes it interesting, and that really adds to the replayability as well. Speaking about replayability, something else that adds to that is the fact that they have advanced player boards as well. So there is a basic player board that everybody can play. This makes the game very accessible and easy to play by anybody. And there are more advanced boards that offer asymmetrical player powers. And these make it really interesting. They add a lot of spice to the game because depending who you're playing, your strategy is going to be very, very different to weigh in on the strengths of your particular character.
And in addition, there are other variants that you can throw in there. There's a solo variant. There are variants to completely randomize the board at the beginning instead of having a set start. Ways to make it tougher with the bandits are tougher to get rid of.
And the game moves really fast. So you have to be on the ball here.
Yeah, they say that the average game lasts about 5 seasons before somebody has enough votes to take the mayorship.
Now, my final thoughts for this one. We found this game to be innovative and fun. We enjoyed our plays of this immensely. There is a ton to do here. It is quick to teach, quick to learn, and is a solid, accessible gateway game. There's definitely some luck here with the cards that you pull when you do the explore and what settlers come out, but there's still a good amount of strategic thinking.
I agree, that covers it all.
Well, if this game looks interesting to you, we will have a link to the Kickstarter down below when it is live. Thank you so much for watching today.
If you've enjoyed this content, please support the channel by subscribing.
And as always, happy gaming, folks.
In the replenish phase, new settlers... I think it's kind of a light strategy game, but it hides some animals in it that are just coming up out of nowhere.
So many animals. The
Hello,
true star
baby
of
girl.
our show. Hi.
Finally, in the cleanup phase, you got it. It's anyone's guess.
Hi.
Beware. And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.